We want everything to happen right now. And I'm talking about myself, I'm talking about my clients, I'm talking about my family members. We have an idea and we want that to come to fruition right now. And we want to already be making $1 million doing that thing that we love.
Right.
That's not the way that businesses work. That's not the way that economies work. And that's not the way that communities work.
From Fiore Communications, it's How I Got Here, a show of inspiring stories from Tallahassee area leaders, business owners, and neighbors, all the challenges, opportunities, inspirations, the twists and turns of life that led them to where they are today. Everyone has a story worth telling, and I am really grateful that we get to bring a few of them to you. I truly have been changed by my conversations with these amazing people, and I'm confident you will be too. I'm Dave Fiore, and on this episode of the podcast, I'm recording at the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours event at the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship in downtown Tallahassee. JMI Tallahassee Program Manager Marina Lickson invited past participants of JMI programs to showcase their business or organization at the event. And as a graduate of the Small Business Executive Program Class 2, I am honored to have the opportunity to use our space to record an episode of How I Got Here. This episode will be a little different, as instead of one guest, I'll be talking with attendees for 2 to 3 minutes each to share about themselves and answer one of 3 business-related questions. There are over 100 people here this evening networking and touring this very cool facility, and I will do my best to snag as many of them as I can. Hope you enjoy it.
My name is Tiffany Lewis. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. I am the CEO of Milk Meat Treats here in Tallahassee, Florida. I do build your own desserts and baking experiences.
Awesome. So who's a typical customer for you?
So my typical customers would be families with children between the ages of 3 and 15, mostly because of the baking experiences. So the baking classes, the treat decorating classes seem to go over really well with the kids, and therefore that gets the parents wanting to know more about what create your own flavor desserts is on the other end.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so what's the most important lesson you've learned in business?
Meeting people and networking is important. Sometimes as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, you try to do everything yourself. And it is very, very important to reach out to those around you, the organizations around you, the resources around you, to get everything you need, to know you're not alone, get the support you need, because it can get hard. You can feel like you want to give up when you don't feel supported, but there's a lot of support out here, and especially with local business owners that are in the same boat as you.
My name is Dan Parisi. I'm originally from New York City, Queens, New York, as a matter of fact. I work for a company called Roland Publishing, which most of you people would know as Tallahassee Magazine or 850 Business Magazine here in Tallahassee. My title is Director of New Business Development for our Eastern Division, which is a fancy title for sell advertising in the magazine space. And that's what I do. I sell advertising and marketing solutions for primarily small businesses.
All right. So what is the best part about doing business in Tallahassee? And I know you've talked to most of the businesses in Tallahassee, so you should know this one.
Yeah, the best thing about doing business in Tallahassee is when we moved here in 2003, we thought we were going to be here for a year or two and head somewhere else. But now we're here 20 years. We raised both our daughters here. And most of the people that I've become friendly with are people that I've done business with. So it's kind of this cross-pollination of like business and pleasure. So the best thing about doing business is most of the people I do business with at this point, I consider to be friends. So that's what we love about Tallahassee for business.
Hello, my name is Brianna Rogers. I am from the Treasure Coast, so I am from Port St. Lucie, Florida. I work at BreeSafe. I am the CEO of BreeSafe. What I do at BreeSafe is I operate everything. What does that mean? I make self-defense keychains for everybody. I do self-defense training with everybody, and I also go back and forth from TCC, FSU, and FAMU, speaking about self-defense awareness, speaking about safety awareness, and speaking about preventative measures.
Awesome. What is the best part about doing business in Tallahassee?
The best part about doing business in Tallahassee is that Tallahassee is a small town, so everybody knows everybody. So sometimes where my company may not be doing great online sales, I can lean on my community of Tallahassee to be able to help boost my sales and keep my sales amazing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jackie Brown. My company that I own is Jackie Brown Consulting, and I help businesses evolve their marketing and their branding with consulting work, also social media and marketing help.
Okay, where are you from?
I was born in Missouri, actually, in a tiny little town called Harrisonville.
Okay. And what's the best part about doing business in Tallahassee?
It's definitely the people. There are some of the nicest, most generous people, and everyone wants to connect you, and they want to solve the problems that their friends or coworkers have. And if you have the skill to do that, they will make that connection. It's really amazing.
So how do you go about making those connections when you're new to a town like that?
So being new, I try to plug in with a women's group and definitely with the chamber, like this Tallahassee Chamber, and get to know people and ask them what business they're in and tell them what I'm doing, and then it just comes out of them. They just instantly say, I know somebody who needs your services. Don't leave tonight until I make that connection for you. It's wonderful here.
I'm Becky Tolnay. I'm from Bartow, Florida. I work for Vistage Florida as the chair for the local Vistage Tallahassee group, and I support CEOs and business leaders who come together to help each other improve their business and their results.
So what is the best thing about doing business in Tallahassee?
The best thing about doing business in Tallahassee is that it's a small town in a big city, and you can make connections through other people. Everybody knows somebody who knows what you need and can help you with it, and I think that's just amazing.
So I've heard people say that before. How do you get started in that? Because some people are intimidated by that at the beginning of the process.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. Well, one of the ways I got started with it was Leadership Tallahassee. It's a great program and gives you an opportunity to meet people that you wouldn't meet in your normal day-to-day.
Right.
But the other thing is just don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call somebody. Connect with them on LinkedIn. Tell them what it is you're looking for, and I find people in this community are generally willing to help.
Okay, and my name is Matthew Lushallow. I am from Tallahassee. Where do I work? Vacation Trip Guides. My title is the president. What do I do? Basically, we sell cruises. We also do trips to Walt Disney World, and our best is for college students. We do cruises for spring break, and for business people, we do river cruises.
What is the best part about doing business in Tallahassee?
The best part in Tallahassee is a lot of people are eager to go on trips in Tallahassee, and with all the different businesses and corporations that are in Tallahassee, it helps us to talk with different companies, and different companies will award the bankers a free cruise. We're working with different banks, and that's what makes Tallahassee unique.
My name is Molly Lord. I am with Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Big Bend. I am the CEO, and we get to make matches with youth in our community every single day. So what I really tell my team is we're in the business of making relationships, long-lasting relationships.
Well, great. All right, so what is the most important lesson you've learned in business?
The most important lesson that I've learned in business or being a leader is we're all still learning every single day. I am driven by data, and that really helps us to make our next move and strategize and plan and continue to move forward and grow from those.
Right, so what kind of data do you collect to inform your decisions?
Data in all sorts of shapes and sizes as far as children and their outcomes. Looking at our recruitment efforts and where we're recruiting, how that is transferring into how many people actually were interested and
right.
submitted an inquiry into becoming a big or to become a child in our program. Data on the fact that how children are doing after they've met with their mentor as well. So that also informs us how we need to tweak and change our program.
All right, so my name is Lauren Spaulding, and I'm from Destin, Florida. I currently work as a marketing intern at the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship. And I'm a marketing intern, so I run the social media. I do stuff for the website. I help with events like conferences and this reception, different stuff like that.
All right, so what is the best part about doing business or being in the business community in Tallahassee?
I think the best part about being in the business community in Tallahassee is just like the community we have here. Even though I don't own my own business, I feel like everyone here is super welcoming, and we have a lot of resources in Tallahassee to help small businesses and entrepreneurs. And it's really awesome being a part of a job where I can also help people who are doing small businesses. So.
Awesome. How are you liking it so far?
I really like it. I've worked here since August, and I've gotten to be a part of a lot of really cool things. I met a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
So it's nice, I go to all these places in Tallahassee, and then I get to meet the people who run them.
Yeah.
And then they interact on our social media, and I get to be like, hey, I'm that person that commented on your Facebook page. Like, that's me. So I like that.
Yeah, great.
My name is Chatty Winton, and I am from Columbus, Georgia. I've been in Tallahassee for 12 years. I work at Synovus Bank. I've been there for 27 years, and I'm a commercial banker.
Okay. All right. So what is the favorite job you ever had doing something different than what you do now?
I was a lifeguard from the time I was 15 until I was about 20, and I really enjoy being a lifeguard and an instructor, and I taught swimming lessons.
Wow. So did you ever save anybody's life?
I did twice.
All right.
Only twice.
What was that like?
Scary. At that time we don't have those anymore. Platform diving boards.
Right.
Yes, and so.
Did somebody hit their head or something?
No, he slipped, fell. Then he was disoriented, fell in, kid, and so I had to jump in and save him. He was fine, but it was scary for me.
I bet.
And then the other one was in the shallow end, believe it or not. It was an adult. Yeah, a lot of adults can't swim.
I guess not.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Renee Williams. I am the Rapid Response Coordinator for Career Source Capital Region. I am from Daytona Beach, Florida, and I am super excited to be here today.
So what is your favorite job you ever had that's different than what you do now?
So I think one of my favorite jobs that I've ever done that's something different than what I'm doing now would definitely have to be working in the music industry. I worked in the industry for over 8.5 years, so seeing all of the artists who are super popular today, the Rick Ross, the Erykah Badu's, seeing that I had a hand in getting them in the industry, helping them on the PR side of things, helping them on the red carpets, it's super fun. Though I sometimes miss it, I am very happy where I'm at now, but being in the music industry was just a roller coaster ride, ups and downs, and I got to see some of everything, meet some of everyone, and I wouldn't change that experience for the world.
All right, my name is John Bowles. I work at Full Press Apparel. We do custom apparel. I've lived here in Tallahassee my entire life, just like Dave. My favorite thing about doing business in Tallahassee is that, to me, this city feels like kind of a nice blend between the north and the south. We get the southern hospitality here, but at the same time, there's a very metropolitan feeling in kind of the downtown area. But yeah, I've lived in the South my entire life, and this kind of gives me an opportunity to, extend that, because Tallahassee is a college town. You meet people who haven't lived in kind of the cultural South, and so it gives you an opportunity to kind of explain, what we're about.
Myron Richardson. I am from Quincy, Florida, Gaston County, but I reside in Tallahassee, Florida. I work for Vice Star Credit Union. My title is Vice President, Universal Retail Banking, and I oversee branch operations, contact center operations here in Tallahassee.
So what is the favorite job you ever had that's different than what you do today?
So my favorite job was as a courtesy clerk, which is a bagger, at Winn-Dixie, and this was while I was in high school. And that job really taught me the value of customer service, helping people, taking your job seriously. While it was a part-time job during high school, it really taught me business acumen. It taught me how to talk to people. It taught me how to build relationships, and I was with them for 9 years, straight out of high school up into my early adulthood. And so that was my favorite job that I enjoyed doing prior to what I'm doing now.
So I assume you weren't a bagger all those years, right?
I was not. I progressed from bagger to cashier to customer service team lead. So I did, go up the ranks into a leadership role, which then, of course, translated over into the banking and credit union industry. So,
sure.
Yeah.
I am Michaela. I am originally from Atlanta, Georgia, but I moved down here to Tallahassee. I am the owner of Tally Kombucha, which is the first non-alcoholic brewery in Tallahassee, and I am the master brewer there.
Okay. that's not something you just learn overnight, right? That takes some time.
Yeah, it does take some time. And how I got introduced to kombucha was through my mom. I had my first child, I became a mother, and I started to suffer with some gut issues. And I was like, I need help. This isn't fun at all.
Yeah.
So she gave me some of her homemade kombucha, and I was like, wow, after 10 minutes, I was like, my stomach started to deflate. I was happy again. I was like, I need this in my life.
That's awesome.
So I watched a few YouTube videos, but then I also started to just learn as I went about how to brew it. And then, of course, I learned from joining an international brewery for kombucha to learn more trades on how to properly brew with the science behind it.
Right.
And I said, this is something that I know Tallahassee needs.
So what is the most important lesson you've learned in business?
So the number one thing that I apply even in my business now that I've learned is that it takes community, and you always need community to build your business, and you need community to be the number one thing that you serve in your business. So it's always about making sure that it's not just a product that you're selling, but it's actually something that is going to benefit your community.
Hey everybody, just a quick reminder that this episode is brought to you by Fiore Communications. Just like people, every business has a story to tell, and we've been helping our clients tell their story since 2001, because who you are as a company is just as important as what you do. To learn more about how telling your story can make a difference in your business, visit fiorecommunications.com. Thanks again for listening. Now back to the show.
My name is Daniel Clares. I work for Oliver Sperry Renovations. I am an estimator, and I estimate construction projects. What is the most important lesson you've learned in business? I would say that if you're coasting, then that means you're going downhill.
So how do you prevent yourself from coasting?
Just by taking on new challenges, new opportunities, doing things like this that make you uncomfortable, and just keep finding new ways to push forward.
Right.
Hey, I'm Tim Templeton. I work with Trivest Partners. We're a private equity firm based out of Miami, actually. I'm a director for business development, and I basically find and work with business owners who are looking for transition to sell their businesses.
All right. So what's the best part about doing business in Tallahassee?
From my perspective, my favorite part is really educating business owners about private equity and how we can be a great partner to help them either transition or accelerate the growth of their companies, and really educate them on the process of preserving their legacy, whether it's through their employees or through maybe children they want to pass the business on to.
So is Tallahassee fertile ground for that kind of business?
I wouldn't say it's fertile ground. There are plenty of opportunities here, however.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Julia Hernandez. I work with Full Press Apparel, and I'm an account manager. We do sales. We do promotional items. We specialize in screen printing and embroidery and all that good stuff.
Awesome. So what is the best thing about doing business in Tallahassee?
The best thing about doing business in Tallahassee is getting to work with all these great people. Like everyone is very friendly in town, and it's pretty good.
So Tallahassee is kind of known sometimes for having businesses that people don't really know about, and you probably work with some of those, right?
Yes.
Some of the big companies that are kind of hidden here?
Yes.
So what is that like?
It's pretty cool. I mean, I get to work with different, organizations every day, and then I get to know, the different things that they do, and it's pretty great.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, my name is Audra Fournier. I own a company called Partners for a Solution. I am a certified master business coach, and I help business owners build better businesses.
And where are you from?
Tallahassee, Florida, by way of Thomasville, Georgia.
Okay. And what's the most important lesson you've learned in business?
Patience.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we want everything to happen right now. And I'm talking about myself, I'm talking about my clients, I'm talking about my family members. We have an idea, and we want that to come to fruition right now. And we want to already be making $1 million doing that thing that we love.
Right.
That's not the way that businesses work. That's not the way that economies work. And that's not the way that communities work. And just because you hang a sign that says that I'm a certified master business coach, or I'm a realtor, or I clean houses, or whatever it is, doesn't mean that your community and your clients know that you do that thing. And so you have to have patience. You have to put in the time, and you have to build your business. And so I don't like being patient. I want it to happen now, but that's really not the way that it works. And so you just have to come to terms with that.
Hi, my name is Sam Sewell. I am a commercial banker at Synovus. We just help businesses with any sort of banking need that they may have, whether it be, treasury management, loan services, anything, that might come up. My favorite job I've ever had, doing something different than I've done now, probably was a job I had this summer between a couple of years in college, where I worked at a produce packing shed. I got to spend a lot of time on the docks and see all the farmers and all the different vegetables that came in, and I learned really what hard work was all about that summer, and it kind of taught me that I wanted to do well in school, so I didn't get stuck doing something like that.
So how did you get connected to that job?
So my dad's best friend actually owned the business, and they always got a couple of college kids to come in and help, and I didn't really know what I was signing up for initially, but it was about 70 hours a week, every other Sunday off, but a lot of good life lessons doing that, and I really enjoyed it. So.
My name is Christina Lynch, and I am from Jacksonville, Florida. I am the CEO of Trident Consulting, and I'm a financial artist. So I support entrepreneurs and small businesses through accounting, tax, strategic planning, and program and grant management.
Awesome. I don't think I've ever heard of that exact combination of services.
It's unique, for sure.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so what's the most important lesson you've learned being in business?
The most important lesson I've learned is to be flexible and transparent more than anything. No matter what we do, it's all about having integrity and supporting our passions, and everything will work itself out.
So you're saying things don't always work out the way you plan sometimes?
It never works out the way we planned. So if we can go in knowing what the ultimate goal is and be flexible with everything else, it creates more opportunity for us to succeed.
My name is Warren Cave. I am from Miami. I am the executive director of the Clean Start Initiative, a nonprofit that helps people get their life in order.
And what is the best thing about having an organization, running a business, being involved in the community here in Tallahassee?
I have been able to, over the last 10 years, help hundreds of men and women get their life in order, help kids to have their lives transformed. I teach life skills, and it's about people having a change of heart, a change of mind, that they can be better, not for themselves, but for their family, the community, and eventually the whole world. I love it. It's an opportunity to always give back. I used to be on crack. I used to be homeless. I used to walk the street barefooted. And now every day of my life, I get to do something, whether I get paid to do it or not. It's what I love to do, and I get to bless and impact this community like never before.
My name is Christy Kreitlow. I am with Quick and Clean. We are a commercial cleaning company, and we are here in Tallahassee and Panama City area.
And where are you from?
Originally Fort Myers, Florida.
Okay. All right, so what is the most important lesson you've learned from being in business?
Slow and steady wins the race. You can't bite off more than you can chew, and you just have to take it one step, one day, one issue at a time.
Is that hard at first?
It's a challenge because you just want to go, go, go because you believe in what you're doing, but you really do have to take it step by step, and I've learned that over the last several years. We've been in business going on 7.5 years.
Right.
So the first few I was go, 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 go. Now it's slow and steady wins the race.
My name is Leslie Powell-Boudreau. I work at Legal Services of North Florida as the executive director. I manage and lead the program. We are a 16-county program that runs from Jefferson to Escambia County, providing free civil legal aid to low-income and vulnerable people.
And where are you from?
Originally, I'm from North Carolina.
Okay. All right, so what is the favorite job you ever had that's different than what you do now?
So one of the ways I worked my way through law school was working at the National HIV and AIDS Hotline. It's a 24-hour hotline, 7 days a week, and I worked there in the early 90s, right around the time Magic Johnson announced that he was HIV positive. And to be there to help people who were really trying to figure out this really challenging time of their own lives, if they were positive, if they were at risk of being positive, how they might have gotten infected, was really so rewarding. It was an opportunity to help people, but it was also an opportunity to learn from my colleagues who were very close to the issue in a lot of different ways, and so it really touched me. And I tell people today that I learned more about being a legal aid lawyer from that job and how to work with people in crisis than I probably learned from going to law school.
Yeah, that was a very confusing time.
It was a very confusing time. Lots of people confused about how they could get it or how it could be treated or what any of the terminology even meant at the time. And it's really interesting to hear people talk about PrEP and how far it's advanced now, 30 years later.
Yeah.
Dave, I'm Sam McMillan. I'm with Hancock Whitney Bank. I'm our business banker here in Tallahassee. And I help business owners solve their problems, whether they're financial or not.
All right, and where are you from?
Quincy, Florida. A proud Quincy man. Actually did work in the tobacco industry as a young man. So
back in the day.
Indeed, indeed.
All right. So what is the most important lesson you've learned in business?
I was actually self-employed twice myself. Clean my clock. But two very valuable things I learned from both of that and what I do today, which is basically talk to a lot of business owners about what their businesses are like, what they're doing, what they're trying, but is the idea of surrounding yourself with quality folks and taking care of those folks. If you will surround yourself with high-quality people and you take care of them, they will take care of your business. And I believe that, honestly, has been the most repeatable thing that I have seen over and over with the companies that are really knocking it out of the park.
My name is Tara Davis, and I work for ViStar Credit Union. I am the business partner with ViStar Investment Services. I'm the financial advisor, and I cover Tallahassee, Thomasville, Georgia, Perry, Florida, and Steenhatchee, Florida.
And where are you from?
I am originally from West Palm Beach, Florida. So I came to Tallahassee to attend Florida A&M University.
Okay. All right, so what is your favorite job you ever had that's different than what you do today?
So my favorite job was a financial literacy coach. I used to teach financial literacy workshops for a small local nonprofit, and I really enjoyed going to certain centers and teaching women about how they can rebuild their credit, how they can get started with building credit, and working with what they have, budgeting and staying within their means. So it was so fulfilling. It was for a local nonprofit. We worked on by grant funding, so it wasn't a whole lot of pay. But I just enjoyed being able to teach and bring the information to the community, and especially to a group of women who were just getting started or who were rebuilding and getting back out there in the workforce.
My name is Roberto Singleton. I go by RJ Singleton. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, but I've been in Tallahassee, Florida since grade school.
And what do you do?
Right now, I'm working for myself. I do communications and marketing. I'm also am the Director of Communications for the Capital City Chamber of Commerce, as well as Director of Marketing and PR for North Florida Medical.
Oh, great. All right. So what is your favorite job you ever had that's different than what you do today?
My favorite job that I've ever had that's different? I would definitely have to say acting. And I know it's not so different than what I do right now, but it was definitely my favorite simply because it allowed me to not be behind the camera and I was in front of the camera.
Do you have any hopes of acting again?
Not really acting, but I do like to be personality, like a TV personality, hosting shows, anything that involves content creation. So it steers right back into what I do.
Yeah.
But being able to have the understanding of film and production allows me to, in theory, be a better talent.
Okay, my name is Victoria Landy, and I work at Bear Waxing and Skincare Center here in Tallahassee, and I've been in business for 10 years.
And what is the business? What kind of services do you provide?
We provide hair removal of waxing, sugaring, and also we provide skincare services such as facials, chemical peels, things like that, all in the beauty industry.
Okay. So what is the most important lesson you've learned in business?
The most important lesson I've learned in business is to make sure that you listen to your coworkers, your staff, your team, because without them, you would not have a business.
Right.
Let's be realistic, because it's very important to listen to what their needs are and help deliver that so they can deliver a good service or whatever the job is that they're doing.
Right.
Because without them, again, like I said, you wouldn't have anything.
Kind of the difference between being a leader instead of a boss?
Correct.
Yeah.
Being a leader is more important than being a boss. You're leading your team, you're leading your coworkers. I am always there. Even if I'm not working on any guests, I'm going to be there at work, making sure that their needs are met, and I'm going to be there to support them, because that's what's important.
Hey Dave, thank you so much for having me. My name is Taylor Andrew. I'm a nurse practitioner, co-owner, co-founder, CEO of Aquarian Clinic. And we own a medical practice here in Tallahassee as well as in Jacksonville, offering primary care services as well as a slew of other offerings at the clinic.
Okay, great. So what is the best thing about doing business here in Tallahassee?
So I grew up in Tallahassee, actually. I went away to University of Florida and then Vanderbilt, went to California for a little while, had a little boy, and decided that I wanted to come home to my family. And I'm super grateful. I have an entrepreneur as a father, a nurse as a mother, so I became a nurse entrepreneur here in Tallahassee. And
make everybody happy, right?
It truly is. And
yeah.
I get to see all my friends, my family. I get to be able to raise my son around my people in Tallahassee. And it's amazing to be able to serve the community with services that people did not have before.
All right, so my name is Vichel Toussaint. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, raised in Long Island, New York, about 40 minutes away from there. I currently own Hyperbolic Float. It's a flotation therapy center here in Tallahassee.
So what's the most important lesson you've learned being in business?
So the most important lesson that I would definitely say that I've learned being in business is that you should always start with the people. What I mean by that is that I realize that within business, a lot of times people start for the sake of how much capital can they make, how much attention can they draw, et cetera, et cetera. The number one thing that I've realized is like, how much can you help the people? And in the long run, if you can truly help the people, it turns out that the capital and everything else will kind of follow. But if your goal is to get the capital, you're going to go up against it's an uphill battle, to say the least. But definitely, the number one thing that I've learned is just to work well with people, for sure.
So that does it from the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship. Thanks to all our participants for spending a minute with us and sharing their thoughts about their business journey. We've listed every person who spoke to us in our show notes, and I encourage you to check them out. We're a stronger community when our small businesses are thriving, and you can help. If you want to hear the stories of some other amazing people in our community in a little more detail, check out the regular episodes of How I Got Here. Thanks for listening to the show. You can subscribe at Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And while you're there, please leave us a review. It really does make a difference. Thanks to my amazing staff at Fiore Communications, who pick up the slack while I'm working on these podcasts, and to Troy Bloom for composing our theme music. You can hear more of Troy's creations on Facebook and Instagram at Troy Bloom Music. To connect with the podcast or suggest a future guest, follow us on social media or email us at podcast@fiorecommunications.com.